Whether or not you believe Casey Anthony actually killed her child, Kaylee Anthony, back in 2000. God, I don't even remember what year this would be. I remember the moment that she got acquitted. Was this a story for you in Australia or you in Canada?
Absolutely. No, it didn't make it back to Australia.
Okay. So if you don't know, the story is that Kaylee Anthony, and we'll get to it in just a minute, but they showed the graphic of Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony, we'll get to in just a moment.
2008.
2008, Kaylee Anthony, a 2 or 3 year old girl, went missing. The mother doesn't report her for 31 days. They end up, I believe they found her body on like the side of a road. There was a weird smell coming from the mother's trunk, photos of the mother going out and partying, a disgusting human being all around. And we'll get to her in just a second. But first, let's go to the awful, evil Democrats. And here is what they did. Did you guys happen to see this? It was all over X yesterday, leading up to the unofficial, official State of the Union address that Trump gave last night. Top Democrats, I believe it was dozens, I believe 24 in total, put together this weird cringe campaign that seemed awfully familiar to me when it comes to propaganda tactics. Let's take a look. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 different Democratic Party members who made this same video leading up to Trump's speech last night. Here's the video.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
They're all saying the same thing verbatim. This is extremely dangerous to look at.
Oh, we'll get to that, Connor. We can cut it there. But basically what it is it's this shit ain't true. And what it was an initiative made by Cory Booker of New Jersey where he wanted everybody to film themselves stating contrary opinions to Trump's "I'm going to lower the prices." It's just so weird that they all did it in unison. It reminded me of this next video that we're going to play. And here it is. All news anchors. This is from Sinclair Group. This is 2018. Regarding disinformation. This is before the COVID-19 pandemic. But if you take a look, just watch this video. It's very interesting to watch because it reminds me of exactly what we just saw yesterday from those 22 Democratic Party members.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
This is very, very well done. So well done.
Without checking facts first.
Locks and that.
Use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous.
All right, we can cut it there. I think we get the point. But this is a bunch of different news stations owned by the same company. And if you think it's that difficult to do this, I can tell you, working in media, that it's not. First of all, those people all read off teleprompters. So none of, and I hate to be that guy, but when I worked in radio, radio was off the cuff. We had to actually be creative and come up with what we were saying. These people, their jobs are to be born with good genetics, sit in front of a camera and read exactly what is written for you word for word for word. So it's very easy to get these talking points across. When January 6th happened, I was working on the radio for Cumulus Media Group, a bunch of fucks who tried to make me take the fucking vaccine, and I said no, and then they gave me an option, either you lose your job or you get the shot, and I said, fuck yourselves. Fuck you, Cumulus.
Good job, Rob.
They're a company that when January 6th happened, and I was on the air at that point, sorry for the crass language, I said I wasn't going to curse today.
But
when I was,
they tried to poison you, so you're in the right.
They tried to inject literal poison in them. Don't get me angry. Sorry. So anyway, when January 6th happened, they told us we had to cover it. We could talk about what happened, but we had to cover it exactly as it was written by the AP, and they gave us the talking points of how we could discuss January 6th. I worked in radio for 20 years prior to that and had never been giving talking points ever, except for when it was a commercial read. Hey, make sure when you're promoting proflowers.com that you use promo code ROBSHOW at checkout. That was the only time in my entire life where I was given a script, except for January 6th. So it's very easy for them to force propaganda on people. But what was interesting, and unfortunately we don't have the shots here, but I can just tell you, you can look up the tweet yourself. Elon Musk tweets how weird this is that these 22 Democratic Party members put out this tweet. And he says, if anybody can figure out who is behind this, please let me know. I'll buy them a Cybertruck. That tweet gets 40 million views. Cory Booker then goes, I was the guy behind it. You know how many views that tweet got? 3 million. At this point, with this day and age, do you guys believe that they're able to continue to spread propaganda, or because Elon has bought X, when he says we are the media, we see through it, and there's no way for them to continue these propaganda campaigns moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, even back then, like, did they not think that people would piece that little montage together and figure it out? I mean, even before there was the Times Square available from X, I feel like that.
No, the thing is this,
But
like,
at that point, it wasn't owned by Elon, and they would censor information that was being posted on
that
X.
wouldn't be
But
able to
people
last.
still figured it out. No, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to
true.
make that
No, but the
video.
thing
They
is-
made that video in 2018, so
I don't
people
thi-
put it together.
no, I don't think they even thought they were doing anything corrupt back then. I mean, the joke, it's like, it's not corruption, it's syndicated news. That's what syndicated news is. You get it down the wire and you report the AP at various, whatever is under the umbrella. I made the joke about the other one. I was like, it's not corruption, it's syndicated politics. It's brainwashing, it's repetitive, the same message over and over again. But I don't even think they think they're doing anything corrupt. It's just how syndicated news works.
And those are all different NBC, ABC. Those are news stations from around the United States. The fact that it's the same exact message, is there like a cable, like a that goes out and it just bleeds into because it was
actually,
unison.
That was Sinclair. That was
Yeah,
Sinclair.
I mean, so it's there's only a handful of broadcasting companies in the radio industry. It's down to like 3, but that's because the radio industry is dead. It's 2025, not 1995. But the same thing applies to cable TV. It's one company that owns all of these different local affiliate programming, and so they'll own an NBC, they'll own a Fox, they'll be different brands, but it's the same message that's getting sent to every one of the networks.
Wow.
Hey, make sure the anchors read this tonight.
Wow.
No, that's the huge issue with syndication. You said when you got your talking points at the radio, it was the AP. Because the Associated Press has this reputation of being, the neutral, objective news. Nothing could be further from the truth. The AP is bought and sold like every other media outlet. They are extremely left-wing. They are very anti-Trump in many of the things they report. All you have to do is go and read the wording in many of their articles. They report the same biased, partisan nonsense that every other outlet does, but they cloak it in their previous reputation because they used to be a respectable publication. They used to be a media outlet that people could rely on. But the problem is, because they have now been so politicized, they're still syndicated by people across the political spectrum. You can go to Breitbart right now. Breitbart is like pretty hardcore right-wing news, except for when they have syndicated articles from the AP. You click on a headline from them, they've written the headline. The body of the article came from the Associated Press. So you can't even trust your own partisan biased media outlets to not be reporting off of what the Associated Press says.
Are they the one who were funded by U.S.
No,
AID?
I thought that was NPR.
That was
That was
NPR and Politico.
And it wasn't apparently
Yeah.
as much as people were initially reporting because
Any is too much.
Yeah,
to
but
be
the-
quite
Yeah, no,
frank.
The AP is the one that got kicked out of the White House press room for refusing to acknowledge Gulf of America. So, they're not on the greatest of footing with Trump right now.
It is the risk what people don't understand. Like when we refer to independent media, it's that it's not falling within the ever decreasing number of umbrellas of syndicated news. And so I don't know what it was, like 15, 20 different news outlets 20 years ago. Now it's 3 to 5. I mean, it's like when you buy your food or your beers, they're all owned at some point by one of 3 different companies. And so you think you're boycotting one and you're actually buying another beer, but it's still owned by the same parent company. That's what you get with information. It's the same toxic effect of not the illusion of choice, but you're actually just getting the same messaging from the same entities.
Right.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, next story. We'll go to Casey Anthony's. I got 2 more. Casey Anthony. So if you're not familiar with the case, we already went into it. 2008, her daughter goes missing. She doesn't contact authorities for 31 days. She ends up making up a fictitious character named Manny the nanny, I believe it was. This whole weird alibi. At one point, she accuses her parents of sexually assaulting her, then claims that her parents may have had something to do with the murder. Regardless of what happened, she goes to trial, is found not guilty. I'll never forget where I was when I found it was like the OJ trial of the late 2000s. I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I found out that Casey Anthony had been found not guilty. She is now out, and because the internet is it's a deplorable medium for awful human beings to have a platform, here she is making a video from a car where she talks about becoming an investigative journalist, and she's going to go on Substack to start talking about criminal activities and cases.
I sweat to death. Okay.
It's tough.
Almost as tough as when I suffocated my daughter.
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
She knows how to beat the system.
And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue
we can
to
cut it
operate
there. At this point, the question for you guys, do you guys think we should be platforming people like this? Or at this point, should people like this who are accused of these heinous crimes, whether they're innocent or guilty, just be smart enough to stay the fuck off the internet?
Can we go back to that for 1 second, just to bring up the image? Because as someone who shoots a lot of videos from my car, bringing it just like the first 3 seconds, the first thing she's gonna want to do is straighten out that freaking angle.
Yeah,
like, what the hell? I feel like I'm on a boat and I'm about to vomit.
Yeah. So the angle actually bothers you
that
more
pisses
than
me off
the
more
murder
than
of her daughter.
She has it half protruding through an open window. Put it on the freaking dashboard. Get a mini tripod.
Viva, do you have OCD?
I've been accused of it and diagnosed with it.
I mean, I recognize it, but
OCD stands for on the car's dashboard, which is where you should be filming from.
No, a mini tripod. It's this big. Yeah. You got 3 little legs. You balance it out.
You think that's the same car where they smelled human decomposition after they went looking for
No,
their
it's
daughter?
got like one of the glass roofs, so that's new.
This is
that
the
felt
issue.
like a hostage tape.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the issue is I think everybody should get a platform even if they've been accused of, even convicted, and they've served their time. I think she did some time served for whatever misdemeanor charges she was convicted of. It was like lying to the police officers or something.
I don't trust her.
It was. I had the same feeling when O.J. Simpson is out there making funny content where he's putting on gloves while playing golf.
Hello, Twitter world.
I say
it's yours truly. He did that video every single day.
What do you mean? He wrote a book that said, "I didn't do it, but if I did, this is how I would do it."
If I did it, and then it ended
if
up,
I did it, and it never came out.
And then they shot a special for Fox, and then I believe the person who signed the deal to the book, a woman named Judith Regan, she ended up getting fired from the book publisher, and they never aired the Fox
that
special.
dumbass. Anyway.
I say let them speak so that we know who they are, what they have to say, and who to avoid.
Facts, and to know which groups, like when you look at the groups that she's representing and talking about, like she's advocating for abortions, and she's specifically advocating for LGBTQ rights as well.
You know, why kill the kids one at a time when you can just knock them all out at one go by endorsing the thing that makes them all die?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Final story, Ariana Grande, you know, she, we'll get to her looks because she actually looks unhealthy at this point. It's kind of concerning. But she was interviewed about an album that she recorded that has not yet been released. And during that interview, she talks about being sent to a clinic where they erased her memory. I wanted to see what your guys' opinion of this video is right here.
What?
Edition is in the can. What's the next step? What do we got?
The next step is the next step. It means it must come out. You know, it's been...
You have a release date.
You know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic they do the memory erasure, you know?
Huh?
What?
The memory erasure. They erase my memory. It's a little foggy, but...
If you could remember, struggle. Tell me. Give me a date.
Is she being hyper? Is she
What's the
kidding?
context say, Rob? They did. What's the bottom say? Because Kelly, is this the video that you were talking about yesterday?
Yes, Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, but that's not the name of the clinic in the movie, so it doesn't even make sense.
This is horrifying. When you understand...
Context?
Yes, tell us.
So she did a music video for one of her songs. I don't remember the name. So it was basically based off of whatever movie she was talking about. It used to be Mac Miller's favorite movie, and then he died. So she basically did a whole music video with that premise that she went there to, basically forget her ex-boyfriend or whatever, and they called it the Brighter Days Clinic in the music video.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you what movie that is. It's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah, but it's called the Lacuna Clinic in there.
Which in that movie, I believe it stars Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He's in a relationship with a girl. They break up. They both hate the memories. They go to this clinic where they cut out that part of your memory so that you forget the relationship happened. So it's very weird that she's talking about that because she seems like they actually did erase part of her memory. And can we verify whether Harley Pasternak worked at that clinic?
She looks.
Can we appreciate that the camera adds 10 pounds and she still looks like an emaciated skeleton? No, I mean, I'm not saying to make fun. Like that, she is anorexic.
That's why I wanted to show this. Take a look at this. This is Ariana Grande before and after the movie Wicked. Look at how she's changed over the years.
Let's
it's very
see.
Her eyes aren't even in the right direction at the same time.
Make that bigger by any chance? No.
Because I tell you, like,
she looks like
gaunt. Like
this is an
that
amazing
was
thing.
when she had meat on her bones. Now, oh my god,
it doesn't look healthy, and I don't know what it is, but honey, you need to get help because
imagine
whether it's a thyroid condition or an eating disorder or whatever it may be, to be that thin to the point where you can actually see sternum protruding out. I'm not trying to make light of this. She looks like a Holocaust victim. She looks thin, frail, not healthy, not getting the nutrition that she needs. I don't know what happens to you when you go to Hollywood. And I don't know if this is a common symptom of becoming famous, but for some reason she looks like she is unhealthy to the point of death.
Big time. You have to have a strong Hollywood is insane. I mean, everybody is different when they get there and they leave. Like if you leave, but everybody's jaded. It's bad, man.
Well, apparently when they've passed anorexia conversion therapy ban, so you can't tell people who suffer from anorexia that they have a problem. You have to affirm.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm actually joking, but
okay.
It's the analogy.
I would honestly not be surprised because I mean, gender dysphoria was a genuine mental condition. They took it out of the DSM, right? And now people can just self-subscribe to that, but you can't. You have to affirm them legally.
This, in Canada, we passed the conversion therapy ban, which you can't talk them out of it. And imagine if you applied that to other mental conditions like anorexia. No, you are fat. You should lose a little more weight. Is basically mutatis mutandis the argument. She does not look healthy.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.